Who is the deadliest hitman? Famous for their brutality, notoriety, and menace, it is certain that hitmen are dangerous and are not afraid to kill to prove a point. You could run, but these notorious hitmen are skilled in finding just about anyone on their hit list. Without a doubt, these professional assassins have proved to be experts at their jobs. In this video, we will explore 10 of the most strange and prolific contract killers. Be sure to stick around till the end of this video as we uncover spine-chilling facts about these famous hitmen. And with that, let's jump right into the video. Number 1. Charles Harrelson, natural-born killer. Does the name Harrelson ring a bell, or maybe his face looks the slightest bit familiar? The man nicknamed as Natural-Born Killer is shockingly the father of actor Woody Harrelson, the American actor who stepped into the limelight as a dumb bartender on the classic sitcom Cheers. Foregoing, his hard work and consistency earn respect as an accomplished film actor. Every so often, the most fascinating actors come from eccentric parents. Certainly, the same can be said for Woody Harrelson, whose father disappeared in 1968 when the actor was just 7 years old. It all started when Charles Harrelson failed in his career as an encyclopedia salesman and eventually moved to be a professional gambler. The hitman was convicted of assassinating federal judge John H. Wood Jr., the first federal judge to be assassinated in the 20th century. In the end, Charles Harrelson received back-to-back life sentences for his crimes. Number 2. Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman. You can't help but agree that life had never smiled on Richard. The story behind his brutality started with his abusive parents. Richard's alcoholic father would routinely beat up his children, which eventually led to the death of Richard's brother Florian. And even after his father left home, his mother continued to hit him because she believed a parent had to be strict. The bullying did not stop with his parents. Even those in his environment added to bullying Richard. Without being aware of it, society created a serial killer with her own hands. The Iceman grew up mutilating cats and dogs to make himself feel powerful against the bullies of society. Nicknamed Iceman because of his twisted method of freezing his victims to hide the time of their death, within his 30-year criminal career as one of America's most prolific contract killers, his body count was approximated to be between 100 and 250. Interesting fact, his life inspired the 2012 movie The Iceman. Number 3. Alexander Solenik, Agent 47. Recognized with amazing superhuman abilities in marksmanship, reckless fearlessness, and incredible luck, this Russian contract killer was a former conscript of the Russian army and was known for his impressive hand-to-hand combat skills. His specialty features killing Russian mob bosses. As a man with a killing mission, it is understandable why he worked out relentlessly, lifting weights and cardio conditioning. Would you guess his total body count? He's had around 43 hits, but those are just the confirmed bodies. His professionality at killing has earned him the nickname Sasha the Macedonian and Super Killer. Solenik escaped prison several times, and he is notorious for brawling with fellow prisoners because he just loved beating up and killing fellow criminals. Number 4. Giuseppe Greco, the Good Fella. When you hear Good Fella, what comes to mind is probably a good and righteous man who is named after his good deeds. However, for Giuseppe Greco, this is the complete opposite. Greco can be considered as someone more than a hitman. He was the archetype of all mafia soldiers in fiction and history. Furthermore, he was a high-ranking member of the Sicilian Mafia and a member of the notorious Greco clan. He reveled in dirty work as he led death squads to wipe out his clan's mafia rivals. His strategy features employing death squads of gangsters wielding AK-47s who usually ambush victims and spray them with bullets. He went further by torturing, killing, and dissolving victims' bodies in acid. At the end of his life, Goodfella admitted to at least 58 murders in Sicily. Number 5. Glennon Engelman, the Dentist. For someone in the healthcare niche trusted to diagnose and treat problems concerning a patient's teeth and gums, it is shocking that Engelman kills people himself. He took great excitement in executing carefully calculated plots that leave no loopholes for investigation. It is easy to say that his greatest passion was death dealing. Dr. Engelman had two talents in life: performing root canals and performing merciless acts of brutality without remorse, which are somewhat similar. For almost 25 years, Engelman supplemented his dental income by moonlighting as a contract killer. He killed several people for profit and possibly a few more for pleasure. As a doctor, his medical expertise never left him because he killed his victims with surgical precision. Ultimately, he is also skilled in a variety of weaponry: guns, knives, car bombs, etc. Number 6. Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. Siegel became a gangster as a teenager. His notoriously quick and violent temper made friends nickname him as crazy as a bedbug, which soon led to many calling him Bugsy. The American gangster was said to have played an instrumental role in the initial development of Las Vegas gambling. No one knows exactly how many murders Bugsy himself committed, but evidence points to the significant role he played in the death of around a dozen people. In light of this, his body count can be approximated to hundreds. Bugsy was killed by another hitman in 1947, but his murder is still unsolved. Theories include gambling debts owed to his former employers, a mob struggle over the horse racing wire service, or a love triangle with his girlfriend and another gangster. What's more shocking? The identity of the shooter is still cloaked in mystery. In his time, Bugsy was effectively the king of all hitmen. Number 7. Vincent Mad Dog Cole. Cole started as a difficult child, constantly in trouble, and was expelled from several local Catholic schools. How did he become one of the Prohibition-era most feared enforcers? First, you can already guess that his aggressive and volatile personality made him a man to be feared. What you might not have guessed is that his willingness to murder made him a trusted lieutenant of Dutch Schultz. Mob hitman Mad Dog Cole was allegedly involved in a kidnapping attempt that resulted in the shooting death of a 5-year-old boy, which earned him the nickname Mad Dog. Mad Dog formed his own gang, which means he turned against his former employer, Dutch Schultz. Eventually, he was taken out by Schultz. Shockingly, the coroner retrieved 15 bullets from his body at the morgue. Number 8. Wayne Silk Perry. With the mention of Wayne Perry, so many adjectives come to mind: ruthless, calculating, menacing, and dangerous. Simply put, Wayne Perry's name left everyone terrified, considering he killed anyone for money. His killer moves were so effortless that witnesses were confused about how he shot the victim right in the head without them noticing. Silk, with his team, carried out executions for the Martinez organization for years. Around the year 1992, police investigations and Alpo's statement charged Perry with at least 5 murders, putting him in prison for his wrongdoings. First, he was a professional headhunter and alleged killer, until he became a Muslim and a black nationalist. Number 9. Harry Pittsburgh Phil Strauss. He was a member of a murder-for-hire gang made up of low-level Jewish and Italian gangsters working out of Brooklyn, New York during the 1930s. Harry Strauss was one of the main instigators of the impenitent bloodlust that took place within the notorious Murder Incorporated in the 1930s. Pep, as he was nicknamed, could use an ice pick during a contracted hit and then nonchalantly take pleasure in a lobster dinner right after, where he used to joke about his hits. When Phil was convicted, he tried to ineffectively turn government witness, and when that didn't work, he acted insanely. The court did not believe him, and he was zapped on the chair. During his short but prolific career, he was credited with 100 murders, although some believe he may have killed 5 times as many. Number 10. Salvatore Sammy Bull Gravano. Salvatore Sammy Bull Gravano is an infamous New York organized crime figure. Sammy Bull's journey started from being a petty thief to street fighting. He eventually worked his way up to become Joe Colombo's protege in the late 1960s. His determination to impress his boss led him to commit several brutal murders, which earned him respect. Soon enough, he got the hunger to set up a trucking and underground smuggling business. Before long, he turned into a multimillionaire, although these good times didn't last. When the police came knocking, Gravano sold out his business partner. Despite Gravano's involvement in at least 19 murders, in 1994 the state sentenced him to just 5 years in prison. In 2002, he was convicted of operating a large drug ring, which led him to serving a further 15-year sentence. Number 11. Hitman Popeye. If you've watched our previous video, then you must have already heard a lot of shocking facts about Hitman Popeye. If you haven't, be sure to check it out. With that in mind, we'll keep the discussion about Velázquez succinct and interesting. Jairo Velázquez was arguably one of Pablo Escobar's most loyal hitmen who carried out operations such as assassination, kidnapping, and car bombing swiftly. As a professional killer, his sole purpose of executing people was for money, and because of this, he confessed to hundreds of murders. The height of the crimes which led to his arrest and 30-year sentence in 1989 was his role in orchestrating the death of Colombian presidential candidate Luis Carlos Galán Sarmiento. After 23 years in prison, Velázquez shockingly turned a new leaf and began his journey as a celebrity through his YouTube channel and books. In the end, the ex-hitman died of stomach cancer at the National Cancer Institute in Bogota in 2020. Congrats on making it to the end of the video! Be sure to click the like button and subscribe to our channel to get other intriguing discoveries. Thanks for watching!